I finished the audio for Under Your Scars by Ariel and Anderson. I finished it like 2 days ago, and I've just needed to like collect my thoughts about this one because wow, what an audio experience. First of all, it was a little bit lengthy. I posted like a mini halfway review on this before, a couple days back actually. This was a really good book. It was a dark romance. I'm not going to give too much away. I don't want to spoil the whole book for you, but I know a lot of you have already read it or listened to it. But it essentially is about the main character, Elena, who lives in this horrible city in New Jersey, Meridian City. It's supposed to be one of the worst cities in the world, or in the country rather, whatever. And she's lives there alone, and she has this job, and she kind of starts to develop this fling-ish thing with her CEO, Christian, who's, girl, child. Anyways, so then one day she's like going home and she gets attacked by these people in an alleyway, and there's a city serial killer. And I think I said this in my other video, it very much is giving Spider-Man, okay? Who's like a vigilante, but like Spider-Man with a murderous twist. So he comes and saves her. And then he won't leave her alone. He's harassing her. And so she ends up in like this weird kind of like relationship-esque dynamic with him, but also dating her CEO at the time. Okay? So now from this point on, if you have not read this or listened to it and you intend to, turn this video off. Now we're getting into a little bit of spoiler territory. So I did know they were the same person. That was not a surprise to me. Anybody else? Because I knew that him and Christian, the silencer, were the same person. That was a given from pretty much the beginning. The thing with her dad and that whole twist, initially I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that Christian was like behind the murder of the dad's family and like all of that, like his dad was behind it, whatever. And I didn't see that one coming, so that one got me. I did not expect a brutal R scene like that to poor Elena, who gets kidnapped by Valenti, and just, that was all very intense. That was very intense. Like, I knew this was going to be dark and sad, but I didn't know it was going to be like on that level and that graphic. So definitely check for trigger warnings, but I told you already to not be watching this unless you already did the book. So you spoiled it for yourself, not me. Now, I did know that it was going to be her dad, obviously, at the end. I think that was kind of a given as well. So it wasn't really like so much like jaw-dropping moments for me in what was going to happen as it was how things happened and how dark things got. One issue I did have is there was these like monumental moments in the audio where it's like, she went through this horrible thing. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, she tried to off herself. She's like, you know, but they just like said it in passing. Like, okay, we're not gonna like go into that a little bit. We're not gonna like tell that from her point of view. I don't know. Certain things about it, that was a little bit much. But then again, it was 19 hours. So I feel like how much more could you have really done? Because it was getting a little long, I'm not gonna lie. What got me though was the smut. The smut scenes in that are top tier. However, I do feel, I don't want to say some of that could have been cut out, but some of the other stuff could have been cut out. We could have got a little bit more juicy plot line, like meat. You know what I mean? So that was my only issue with it, but all in all, it's a great story, and the audio actors were phenomenal. That was great narration from start to finish. I freaking loved it. I would definitely do the novella. I did read a little bit about what it's about, so that's cute. I'm sure it's going to wrap it up nicely, but I thought this was a part of a series. Somebody let me know in the comments. Yeah, I gave this like 4.5 stars because it's really hard for me to give 5 stars. It's very rare I've ever actually given 5 stars to an audiobook. I feel like, for me, and it could just be me, I do feel like sometimes I tend to end up liking audiobooks a bit less than a book had I read it. So I tend to rate books that I've read higher than listened to, with exceptions. There's definitely exceptions, because Boys of Toman, that audio was top tier. I rated all those books high, though. What else did I rate? The Great Alone, I did audio for, rated that super high. The Four Winds, I rated that super high. A couple other audiobooks that come to mind, Still Beating, that was a good one. Those are probably like my favorite audiobooks in recent memory. This one is now one of them, definitely. I did want to say, did anybody listen to the author's note? How she was talking about how her dad offed himself, can I say that? I don't know. How he offed himself in the like production of her book, like during her like second drafting phase or something. So then she's like dealing with that. Like, can you imagine this poor, the author I'm talking about? That's crazy, this poor girl. That's so sad. That is so sad. But this was a really good book. So obviously the trauma that she endured helped her in some way, like in the silver lining sense, because this book, wow. And then the ending, like we all know what happens at the end, obviously. That one, I knew one of them was gonna, I didn't know it'd be both. And then with the pancakes, he's like, go ahead, go, honey, turn around. And what? Are you serious? Like, that little girl didn't go through enough? That poor thing. That was a lot. What was her name? I already forgot. I do. I have really bad memory. Anyway, guys, it was really good. Can't recommend it enough. I'm now doing the Dead Med audio, which I'm liking so far. I've heard that the ending of it doesn't make sense. I also heard that from my husband because he did it, and he said he did enjoy the audio for the most part, but he hated the ending and thought it was horrible. So when I know that ahead of time without actually knowing what's going to happen, it does make me a little bit less excited, you know? But we'll see. We'll see. I'm reading... What am I reading? Oh, Falling by T.J. Newman. It's about a plane hijacking. Very good. Very good so far. I'm on like chapter 8, pretty early in, but it's a shorter book. So yeah, that's what I got today, but that was a lot. And I'm going to do my full review on Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez soon. So watch out for that. It's a little bit of a different tone, if you know what I mean.